Hello and welcome back to my vlog. Continuing with Celiac Awareness Week. Yes, I have shared this before way back. I think it was number 28. I'm not looking at it at the moment. But this was a chance I had to hear Dr. Wallach speak live, and he was talking about gluten intolerance. So I'm sharing it again just because it's Celiac Awareness Week. And it's a little different because I'm talking before and after. Not that that means anything. And the sound on this is kind of quiet because I was using this same camera. One of these days I'll upgrade. That takes money. So here we go again with Dr. Wallach speaking about gluten intolerance.
Communities such as the Mormons, the Seventh-day Adventists, and the Amish who eat a lot of grains, it's 80% have gluten intolerance. And this is worth showing you because this is the basis of many diseases, just like that kid who died of Crohn's disease at 21 years of age. What is Crohn's disease, Randy? Sharon? Okay. Margie? Okay. Yeah, well, gluten intolerance, as you'll see in a moment, changes the lining of the intestine. You hear about it. Doctors will call it leaky gut syndrome. They'll call it celiac disease, irritable bowel syndrome, inflammatory bowel disease, diverticulitis, appendicitis, colitis, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease. Those are all different names for gluten intolerance. Now, when you have gluten intolerance, it changes your intestines so you can't absorb nutrients. So, Char, you've seen a lot of people with gluten intolerance. What was the one that had the most number of diseases that you saw?
That lady had
22 different diseases, diagnosed diseases were legitimately being treated by Canadian Health Canada. And all we did was get her off of gluten, get her on the 9 essential nutrients, and 3 months later, they're all gone. Now, do you think Health Canada thanked us?
No. They don't let us in the country.
Okay, so here we go. Let's take 5 minutes and look at this. It's very important. And once you see this, you won't forget it. You will know more than your doctor, and that's very scary. Not the fact that you know it, but the fact that they don't. You see that unhappy face there, and a whole grain bread. Study of a potentially fatal food triggered by disease. Okay? What disease? Gluten intolerance. This came out in 2009. I've been doing it for a long time. Celiac disease, which is really gluten intolerance, now affects one. See, this is incorrect. When you read the rest of the article, the author of the article got it wrong. We should read celiac disease is now diagnosed in 1 in 100. Gluten intolerance, aka celiac disease, they say is an immune system reaction. Well, that's what they said about that kid who died of Crohn's disease. That's not true. And then down here it says Mayo Clinic says that for every person diagnosed, there's probably 30 are undiagnosed. Well, again, in the Amish community, in the Seventh-day Adventists, and the Mormons, it's as much as 80 out of 100. And again, Dr. Glidden showed this. These are the finger-like villi that stick up in your intestines. They increase your... Marvin, did you show that too? Marvin still here? Oh, you may have left.
Somebody did.
These things stick up out of the intestines, and they actually look like, make your intestinal wall look like velvet when you cut it open and look at it. But these things are, actually, you can measure them. They're actually quite long, little fingers. They increase your intestinal absorptive surface by 85%. And when you have gluten intolerance, it goes away. You just get down to the basic membrane here, so you lose 85% of your intestinal surface. Now, depending on how severe it is, it's a gradual thing that gets worse and worse and worse over time. Mothers pass it on to their kids, both boys and girls, through their cord blood and breast milk. Girls can pass it on, unless the boys are breastfeeding their babies. I've never seen that happen. I can make that happen, because I know how to make boys give milk. Okay? That was one of my research projects for the dairy department, was to make bulls give a gallon of milk. We actually got it done. Okay? But it was hard to milk them, you know. Actually, you get people off of gluten, and within 30 to 90 days, you begin to see something. If they're very severe, it might take a full year for them to completely heal. But certainly within 30 to 60 days, 90 days, you're going to see something dramatic. But they'll be very happy they got on a gluten-free diet. Now, there are a lot of people who are gluten tolerant until they hit their 50s and 60s, and suddenly now they become gluten intolerant. Why is that? Well, that's because they don't use salt, because the doctor tells them not to use salt. And you can't break down the gluten without stomach acid. I'm going to show you a little UC here. He's Blake Graham's nephew. That's his wife. It's her little nephew. This is his nephew-in-law, little UC. And he...
Thank you, Dr. Wallach. And that baby at the end, too bad that cut off because the baby had rosacea from gluten from its mother's breast milk. And when she stopped breastfeeding, it went away. And what was it? I think it was 22 diseases that one woman was diagnosed with that were all a result of gluten intolerance because she was not able to absorb nutrients. If you've got a lot of issues going on, there's a good possibility that you have a gluten intolerance. There's an even larger possibility that you're not consuming enough nutrients, but even if you are trying to consume the nutrients and you still have the issues, you're not absorbing them. Good reason you might be not absorbing them is gluten intolerance. Just some food for thought. Gluten-free food, that is. Make it a great day, and bye for now.